Department people say, which is, of course, the most flagrant violation of everything in the Justice Department ethics manual and rules. They are attempting to prosecute these cases in the public we are at this moment.
Senator Schiff, Republicans have said that and pointed to the fact that Letitia James campaigned on prosecuting President Trump when she ran for Attorney General. How is that different from this situation?
Well, I will let Letitia James speak for her campaign. But what I'm talking about is using the power of this presidency, using the power of this Justice Department to go after the president's enemies and being instructed by the president to do so. Nixon had his enemies list. We had nothing like the kind of brutal, anti-democratic, corrupt abuse of the department that we see under Donald Trump. It is truly unprecedented.
Do you have confidence in a jury, and do you have confidence that the American people and a jury of Letitia James's peers can still be unbiased and can still bring justice in this instance? Do you still have confidence in that?
I still have confidence in the jury system. What I think the American people have lost confidence, though, is in the independence of the Justice Department and the top prosecutors for the department, who are Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyers. I remember when they were up for confirmation, asking them whether they were going to continue to be his criminal defense lawyers or whether they were going to be the representative of the American people. Well, we now have their answer. They're going to continue to be the president's criminal defense lawyers and act that way. The interests of the department, the American people, in going after violent crime and going after corruption, going after drug trafficking, going after anything else, takes a second seat to the president's personal campaign of retribution.
Has there been any outreach from investigators at Martin's office? He's been named as the special prosecutor for investigating you. Have you interacted with them at all? Have they reached out to you at all?
All I can tell you, all I know is from what, frankly, the president says and other Justice Department people say, which is, of course, the most flagrant violation of everything in the Justice Department ethics manual and rules. They are attempting to prosecute these cases in the public, and they make no bones about it. People like Ed Martin openly talk about how, well, if the evidence isn't there, we're just going to name them and shame them. And sadly, that's what's become of this Justice Department. We have people who were here attacking this building, like Jared Wise, people who were calling for violence against police officers guarding this building, who are now in the weaponization section of the Justice Department, trying to use that department against the president's enemies. That is just how upside down this is. This has become an injustice department at the very top levels. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Justice Department people say, which is, of course, the most flagrant violation of everything in the Justice Department ethics manual and rules. They are attempting to prosecute these cases in the public, and they make no bones about it. People like Ed Martin openly talk about how, well, if the evidence isn't there, we're just going to name them and shame them.
Welcome back to Jace Manhwa. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We break down the stories the mainstream media refuses to cover honestly. Today, we're reacting to a recent video that tries to paint Trump's Justice Department as some kind of unprecedented, anti-democratic machine. Let's get into it. So first, let's set the record straight. The speaker in this clip compares Trump's administration to Nixon's, claiming that Trump weaponized the Justice Department in a way that America has never seen before. That's a bold statement, but here's the problem. It ignores the reality of what's actually been happening for years. The left has been openly weaponizing every arm of government, from the DOJ to the FBI, against conservatives, political opponents, and anyone who dares to challenge their agenda. The speaker talks about Letitia James' campaign as if it's irrelevant, but Letitia James literally ran for office on the promise of prosecuting Trump. She wasn't even subtle about it. That was a political witch hunt from the very beginning, not a neutral application of justice. If that's not political targeting, then what is? They claim that Trump turned the DOJ into his personal defense team. But let's be real, Trump spent most of his presidency fighting off endless investigations, leaks, and politically motivated attacks. The DOJ wasn't acting as his defense. Half the time it felt like parts of the government were working against him. This narrative that he controlled everything is just a convenient way to shift blame and distract from their own abuses of power. The speaker says the American people have lost confidence in the Justice Department. On that, I actually agree, but not for the reasons they think. People have lost faith because we've watched the DOJ ignore real crimes while chasing political points. Violent crime goes unchecked, corruption in high places is swept under the rug, but if you're a conservative or associated with Trump, they'll dig through your life until they find something to use against you. They mention Ed Martin and accuse him of prosecuting cases publicly and naming people without evidence. But this is exactly what the left has been doing for years. Look at how they handle conservative figures. They don't need evidence, just accusations, media amplification, and public shaming. That's their playbook. And when they talk about people weaponizing the DOJ, it's ironic. Because what we're seeing now is a Justice Department that's been turned upside down. The real injustice is how conservatives are treated compared to Democrats. One side gets endless investigations, raids, and public trials, while the other gets excuses, immunity, and silence. This isn't about Trump alone. This is about setting a dangerous precedent where political power determines who gets investigated and who gets a free pass. If they can do it to a former president, they can do it to anyone who stands in their way. That's why it's critical to stay informed and not just accept the narrative the media feeds us. This isn't just politics. It's about the integrity of our justice system and the future of the country. If you agree that justice should be blind and not politically weaponized, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Jace Manhwa, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. We're not backing down from speaking up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.